Every good motorcycle project starts with a good cup of coffee. If you need a spokesman, Maxwell House or Folgers, Black Rifle, hit me up. You know, I can be your pretty face. All right, YouTubers, welcome back. My name's Dave.
No shit, Sherlock.
Like always, and you found do it yourself, do it right. And well, if you're here for the bikes, you've come to the right place. This thing needs a bunch of work. I'm gonna start pulling this thing apart. I'm gonna try to get this thing ready to ride, to do something other than just sit here on my motorcycle lift. So let's get into it. Tell you the backstory of this here bike while I'm moving a couple of these other ones. If you guys haven't stayed up to date with the YouTube channels, I bought this in Savannah, actually out on Wilmington Island. It was listed on Marketplace, basically where I find all my projects. Good old Facebook. Guy had a bunch of bikes listed, a bunch of Hondas. This is the one I came home with. He had another CB360, but that was a straight up project. I mean, like a massive project. It was a parts bike, really. So I decided to leave that one there. Probably should have picked it up, but I didn't. He had I believe it was a CB900 also. Such a beautiful day. I believe he had a CB900 and he had a CB450, which the 450 was interesting because you don't ever really see, I don't anyways, I don't ever really see 450s for sale. They're just kind of like, they're like the forgotten twin for some reason. 450s and 500s, you don't really see a lot of them. 500s really aren't all that sought after. Just I guess the look. I don't really like the look of them. If you've noticed, the other Harley, it's gone. Sold it. Young man here in Savannah. He had a Dyna. He wanted to get a bigger bike. He came with cash. I said okay. On the other hand, that cash then was given to the guy that's doing the restoration on my 55 Ford Crown Victoria. So that video is also coming too. Links to all these videos in the corner. If you're on your phone, if you're on your TV, they're not gonna show up. So that's the backstory. Forgot that I never actually washed this bike. There's about 900 dirt dauber houses in the fins of this engine. So before I get to ripping it apart and exposing everything, I think I'm going to, alrighty then, I'm gonna dig these dirt dauber houses out. If you don't know what a dirt dauber is, it's a wasp. They like to get into fins like this, and this is where they lay their larvae, their nest, if you will. And you know, on a motorcycle, it's not gonna cool very well with all these fins filled with dirt. So I'm gonna use my flat tip here, scrape it out, get it all over my nice new, good Lord, they're everywhere in here. Get all over my, you know, my nice new motorcycle lift. Wash it, use some super clean. Super clean. Clean it up, get all this stuff, you know, all this off, gone, hopefully. And then we'll dig in. Yeah. The tires have held wind. That is a win. Basically, I'm just going to use my leaf blower to blow all the dirt out, and then take the super clean, spray all along the engine, all along those fins. I suspect that there's a head gasket leak. Doesn't look great, but we're gonna roll with it. Couple cardinals. Let it sit, spray some more, and then you know, wash away. This is the foaming action. Aerosol foaming, you can't tell. I like this stuff the best. I have some of the other stuff. They send it to me every once in a while when I plan on doing some cleaning. Some preservation, not restoration. Pop these side covers off. Spray it all down in there. Gotta be careful with the side covers. I want to damage them. Might be able to bring the paint around. Let's put these in a safe spot. Oh, this stuff's already going to town. It's already turning everything yellow. Look at all that good stuff. Didn't really plan on doing the whole thing, but while I'm here, I'm gonna go get a scratchy pad and do some preemptive cleaning too. Why not? Oh well. Let's spray the chain. I got a personal message on Facebook the other day. Young man said he bought one of these off from Facebook Marketplace, you know, just like me. And he was wondering if he got himself in over his head. I told him, well, you know, check out my channel. If you have any questions, you know, hit me up. I'll answer questions. If you're watching a video and you have a question on something I said in the video, I told him to send me a message. If you're stuck somewhere, send me a message. And I told him, he's like, well, I feel like I got in over my head, because it's a project bike. I'm assuming. I didn't see any pictures. But I told him, look at it this way. You might not know anything about it, but what does that mean? That means that it's a 100% learning experience, right? So don't get all down in the dumps. Look at it like you're just about to learn a whole bunch of stuff. You're gonna learn some possibly. Oh yeah, that's the wrong controls. Oh, okay. Anyways, like that. I just learned that. You know, he's gonna learn. He's gonna learn that. Make sure you do this and do that first, or do this, but that's the fun part, right? That's the fun part about having these old project bikes. The fun part about riding old bikes. You learn about them. You sit here, you know, instead of you're on your phone watching TikTok, you're on your phone watching YouTube videos about the motorcycle that's driving you nuts. It's in your garage or in your storage room or wherever, because you can't get it to run right. So that's what I told him. You know, just watch the channel. There's lots of stuff on there. And you have any questions, hit me up. I mean, the Super Clean does a pretty good job getting some of the stuff off from there. You can see how discolored it is right there. and around the front. You can see it dripping on the ground. So it is some good stuff. Just gonna throw another coat of it on here. Let it sit. If it breaks up, I'll even a little bit more of the grease and grime. You know, it's good for me. It saves me in the end, really. Sprayer down in the carburetor. Carburetor's got to come off anyways. So I'm gonna have the carburetors off, exhaust off. Try to get this off. Seat's gonna come off. Tank's gonna come off. I'm surprised. Maybe I'll get the front fender off. I'm gonna try to do my best. I got a usually I use SOS pads, quad zero, and I'll use that on the exhaust and whatnot. I have a red scratchy pad that I'm gonna try these rims and tires real quick, like see if that's gonna do it, or if I'm really gonna have to get some aggressiveness. They are a little corroded. I don't know if this red scratchy pad's gonna get it. It's gonna get a little bit of it, but it's not gonna get all of it. I'm gonna have to get some SOS pads, but at least I know. I'm not even gonna waste my time. It's not taking it off like an SOS pad would. I do have a white one here. I'm gonna clean the tires off with, at least, because the tires got some weird white residue on them. I don't know what the heck that was. Probably from sitting. It's driving me nuts. I'm a little bit OCD sometimes. My girlfriend, now fiance, that's right, finally popped a question after 9 years. Takes me a little bit. She would say that I'm a lot OCD, but you know, she said yes, so now it's her problem. Like I said earlier, this whole front end's gotta come apart. You gotta get to these seals. So I'm just trying to knock the majority of the dirt off. When I do the seals and everything on these forks, I'll clean them up. Probably a little better than what I got now. They're not gonna be shiny, but they'll be clean, ish. I'm just gonna knock the big stuff off from this, because this is gonna go to work with me, and I'm really gonna shine on her at work. Spray her off, see what she looks like. All right, yeah, okay. You'd be surprised what a good wash will do for a bike that's been sitting. How good it'll look afterwards. You knock some of this rust discoloration off from it with just one good wash, and then you get energized for the project. You're like, oh man, that looks a lot better now. Like this right here, it's got a little bit of corrosion look on it. Clean it up, get all the grime and stuff that's been on it for forever, get it off. Because let's be honest, folks, what keeps people going on a project is progress, right? If your project's sitting in a garage or a barn and you're not working on it, and you're like, oh man, it's out there, I don't want to work on it. But if you make a little bit of progress, clean it up a little bit, and then you're like, oh, okay, and you're motivated to keep working on it. At least that's my psyche on it anyways. If you guys are different, put it in the comments below. How do you go about your projects? Do you like gathering all the parts first, like I did? Gather the majority of the parts and then you start working on it? Or do you pull it apart, you kind of slow roll it, figure out what you need, And then you work on a little bit here, a little bit there. And tell me how you guys work on your bikes. Let's clean this tank up a little bit. I always put my hand on the gas cap just so I don't get any water down in there. It's got old crusty gas in it anyways. It's gonna have to be all dumped out. But this tank is nice and clean on the inside. So no reason to get water in there. All right, so on this back tire, I want to show you kind of up close and personal how much progress just a little bit of elbow grease gets you. You see how you can see the rust, and it's kind of orangish. You know, everybody knows what a rust color looks like. Look at through here. Now I might have to come back with a SOS pad, but just with a white scratchy pad, we're gonna see how much of that rust I can get off. And I am not spending a crap ton of time. I'm just going. You can see I'm putting a little bit of force into it, but look at all the stuff coming off from there already. And this is just white scratchy pad, not red, not quad zero. If I would have planned a little bit better, I would have had that so I could have showed you, but I didn't. I actually thought we had some underneath the sink. Look at that. We're almost all the way around. You can see the stuff coming off from it. I mean, it's going to look 50% better. Because I'm going to show you this side. I'm going to spray it off. And then I'm going to show you what the other side looks like. I mean, look at all that down there already. Give her a spray. All right, so that's the worst part of the rim. You can, you know, the rest of it cleaned up pretty well. Look at over here on the brake. See how this is shinier? Well, not shinier, but a brighter brushed look. And then look down here, down in there. That's just what a little bit of elbow grease does for you. And look at this side over here. Now see all the rust color on this side? Go a little slower. It looks shiny because it's wet. A little bit of elbow grease goes a long ways, especially on these old bikes. I did this up here. Look how shiny that is. Look how dull that one is. Shiny, dull. Now that I spent entirely way too much time washing and cleaning, I'm gonna get to pulling some parts off. First, I'm gonna get this seat off, hopefully. It just makes it easier. Get this thing out of the way. I should have done it while it was on the ground and not all the way up in the air like it is right now. Because there's this little teeny tiny pin you got to pull out. And of course this one doesn't want to rotate very well. But my goal... Oh man. Okay. It's going to be a pain. My goal is to get the seat off. Get the luggage rack off. Get the handlebars off. Get the front fender off, because that's the stuff that's going to go with me. I can work on that stuff while I'm at work. That's the number one goal. Oh, and the exhaust. I'm sorry, but the exhaust is super easy to get off. So that's the number one goal. And as you can see, I'm already struggling. got a bunch of it stripped apart. Some things I want to show you. What I was talking about earlier or in previous videos. These boots, these carb boots, they should be at least a little bit pliable. These suckers are rock hard.
God damn it.
Both of them just hard as a rock. Another thing I noticed is there are no exhaust gaskets. I don't know if you could really see, but they're supposed to have a crushable, like a copper gasket up in there. It's not there. Something else I want to show you, when you run across these bikes that other people have worked on, and I actually cut a zip tie off because, you know, zip ties are fairly normal. But this is the first I've ever seen like a bread tie being used to hold wiring and throttle cables together, or where they're not supposed to be. So that's a new one. You know, I've seen wire ties, you know, like the wire nuts, I should say, not wire ties. I've seen wire ties. I've seen a bunch of stuff on bikes like this just being completely wrong. But that's a new one. It's kind of good to share, kind of good to see. You know, I haven't had a good one in a while. I don't know why this throttle cable is not working. I think it's disconnected up in here. So that's going to be fun. Or maybe, I don't think it's broken. Another thing that I noticed being up in the air like this is I'm going to go for these handlebars. And you can see how that rubber mount is just smoked. I'm glad I got that new triple tree, because it came with new bushings for that. So that's good. That's muy bueno. It's you know, it is what it is. It's an old bike. I didn't notice that before, but you know, I guess you can't notice everything. The only thing I got left to take off that I want to take with me is the front fender. Just a couple of 20 or 10 millimeters to get that off. And then I think that's as far as I'm gonna go for now. For parts, I should say. For parts that I'm going to take to work, I'm going to go ahead and snatch these intake boots off, put the new ones on. I might snatch these off, put the new ones on, and just keep on motoring, because I don't have anything else to do today. Actually, I do have other things to do, but I don't want to do them. So I'm just going to keep working on this. So I made a video last summer, maybe the summer before, saying that when you work on old motorcycles, you can rest assured that you're going to have some wiring stuff, especially if the bike has had issues. And I'm not saying that this bike has had issues, but you know, the switch doesn't work to turn the headlight on. And well, I found this, taking these wires loose. This, you know, is a butt splice, and then a lot of electrical tape for some reason. But it has the right end, black and white end. It's a black and white wire. So I don't know what's really going on there. But I will say that this wiring harness is original, and it's kind of neat because the other wiring harnesses that I've taken apart, I haven't noticed this. And when the wire is actually a blue and white or an orange and white like this for the blinkers, orange and white's the front, blue and white's the back. So the blue and white is, I don't know, I don't remember if they're left or right. but there's blue and there's orange and then there's a blue. These wires are blue solid, but on the protective thing you can see that it has white. Never seen that before. At least, or maybe I just haven't noticed it before. So I got the, handlebars ready to pop off. Maybe. Come out of there. Okay. Gonna have to use two hands, maybe. Maybe just use my good hand. Maybe just use my good hand. There we go. Come on out of there. Yeah.
That's what she said.
We're just gonna yank wiring. Cables. Thought cables. There we go. That's ready to. That's ready to get something. It's ready to be rebuilt, basically. All this hard plastic is just coming loose. That's going to get redone. Those are going to get replaced. It's kind of a mess, really. I think the rubber thing fell out, which is fine. I don't know where it went. All right, so got that all busted down, and I realized looking up here, my the gauges are loose, and it's because there's no nut on the bottom side of this, but there's no thing sticking out to put a nut on it. So this whole thing is loose up in here. Just something else to dive into, to figure out, to fix, tighten down, make it roadworthy. It's basically what I'm doing, even though it looks like I'm doing a whole lot more. Still got to get the front fender off. I got bogged down on wiring and all this stuff that's not where it's supposed to be. But if you, I'm going to end this video here. I'm going to land the plane, as Mike Rose says in his podcast. I'm going to end this one here. If you like this old bike stuff, give me a like, give me a tag. Tag it with somebody that, also works on these. Share it with your buddies. Share it with your mom, maybe. Girlfriend, fiance. So, like I said, if you like it, like, tag, share, follow, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can see when I drop another video on this beautiful green Honda CB360. So, like always, till next time, thanks a lot.